I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get wilder. Hi friends, I'm so excited for another episode of Wilder Possibilities, and I'm here with my dear friend of 25 years with Christos Garkinos.
Hi.
And he owns Coveted by Christos.
Yes, Covet by Christos.
Okay, and did you just called it just casually like CBC?
CBC.
Oh, just CBC Network. It's now a network.
I'm a network baby.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to tell you all about him. Basically, he started a shopping network on Instagram.
On Instagram, because I had to, because I was broke and it was COVID. So there you go. Now, you guys know I've known her since she was 12, basically.
Basically 12, 25 years, of course.
25 years. Crazy.
Yes, it is crazy.
You walked in my old store. I'm like, who is this little Southern belle?
I was like a whirlwind, but I was so excited to meet you because we had done some work together.
Yeah, we did some work together.
Yes.
Your former boss.
I know, with Laura, who was on. You have to see her.
I know I can't to see her, but you are just a little dynamo.
Stop. No,
I think I turned the interview around. It's not me interviewing Shelton, guys.
This is about you.
That's what I do. Okay.
No, this is about you. And we know that you can talk more than anybody because you have to talk 6 hours a day.
6 hours a day.
I mean, constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you for getting me out of my house.
Okay. I know. You're here. You made it. And you're matched the set. Everything's great. So you've been in fashion for how many years?
25 years.
25.
But I'm 85, so I've been in business for 40.
Get out of
I've
here.
had a crazy career because my career, obviously I'm a child of Greek immigrants. I grew up in a restaurant,
Okay.
So we're
Oh.
I think the reason why Greek parents have kids is because it's cheap labor. So I started.
I agree with
right,
that.
All right. So I started working in the restaurant at 5.
Yeah.
So why are you laughing? It's the truth.
Because you're like, get to
Second, I
work.
was doing the register. My dad was in the back. It was like total Greek restaurant. My dad was in the back cooking. My mom's out front. They yell at each other for 2 hours.
Oh my God.
During lunch. There's a sign outside the door that said, "This ain't no Burger King. You get it my way or you don't get the goddamn thing." So
That is amazing.
100%. So that kind of thing. And so then I had to be in corporate. I always loved fashion. My dad looked like Engelbert Humperdinck, the singer. He's like a really handsome guy.
Yeah.
And he was all very fashionable. And so he was like my big icon growing up. And I always loved watching him get dressed and,
Oh, that's so
So it's
cool.
really I always liked to kind of dress a little, I like him, but I had to work.
Yeah.
So I had a big corporate career before I started my whole thing. So I worked at a company called Clorox. I was a brand manager there. And then I worked for Disney. And they shipped me off to London, and I opened up all the Disney stores in Europe. So the head of marketing at Disney stores in Europe.
Look at that training.
Well, wait till the next thing.
Okay.
Right? For 7 years, I worked for Richard Branson.
Oh my God. Dude, wait, you're going to die. I'm going there.
You're going to
I'm going to Necker.
What?
In 1 month.
You are not.
No, I swear. With 40 of us.
40?
Yeah,
Whose
called
birthday?
Strive. No, not a birthday. It's called Strive. It's just
Oh my God.
40 entrepreneurs and him.
I never could. Next year I need to go.
Next year, we're going.
Okay,
I'm inviting you.
Okay, well, anyways, I worked for him for 7 years.
That's epic. I'm going to tell him we're friends.
He won't remember because it's Richard. But the
thing is, remember.
The one thing the click moments you were talking about earlier,
Yeah, when did you get the click?
Well, here's the click. So I was working at Disney in Europe, and when you're 28 years old, you're you sit around and really you're aggressive with your career. We'd have dinners what's your dream job? I'm I can tell you right now, working for Richard Branson in marketing in LA for the music store. I just was and they're because I used to love going to Virgin Megastore in Paris. It was my home. I loved it there. And
you're a manifester.
100%.
You're like a wild manifester.
My manifested. So here's what happened. I was back in London, where I lived when I was working for Disney.
Yeah.
And I was on a really bad blind date, awful. So I was I'm sick. I have to go home. And so I lied. And so I went.
You had to get out of there.
I went straight to Tower Records, which is Virgin's competitor, because I love music. And so I was at Tower Records, and I picked up the Industry Bible, Billboard magazine.
Oh, of course,
and
of course.
it was a 4-month-old, not really, but 2-month-old, old copy. And I always would flip through it, look into the charts, flip. And I go to the want ads just because you did. There's no internet back then, by the way.
Oh yeah, want ads.
The want ads.
And
and there was no internet. And I flip open. It's head of marketing, Virgin Megastore. My dream was in front of me because I got out of a bad blind date.
Yeah.
So I faxed them the next day. And
love it.
The next week I was in LA and I got the job. Crazy. And so
that's
totally manifested. So I went So I flew back to LA. I told guys at Disney, hey guys, I got to go. They're like, we'll pay for you to go to Harvard. I'm like, great. Now what? So I finally said no to them. So basically my story is like when the opportunity hits you, get it. So I worked for Branson Richard for 7 years.
Yeah. Amazing.
I built the Virgin Megastore chain from 50 people to 5,000.
Wow.
And it was my dream job. Like I loved it. And like the first day of work, I remember he walked around the store with me and he's like, Christos, I don't care if like people buy anything in the store as long as they have fun. And that's been my guiding.
I love
that's
that.
my guiding, like, sort of guidance whenever I build any business at all.
Yes.
So, and I thought I was going to stay there forever. And there's a video of me somewhere. I got to find it before my book comes out. But like, there's a video of me somewhere on Fox News because I was the face of, Virgin in the U.S.
Oh, and you think he won't remember you?
He won't.
Of course.
Hey, like my friend, He's going to be all over my book. Anyhow, I said, they asked me, Christos, there's this new thing called 1999. There's this new thing called Napster coming out. I'm like, Napster? What the heck's Napster? Oh, they say it's going to replace CDs and there's all digital music. I'm like, what's digital music? Everyone will always want a CD. Cut to, I was out of a job in a year. I was like, gone. Gone.
Gosh.
So then that's where I met you because I started a resale store in LA, upscale resale store, and I co-owned it. And that's when we met. That was like probably 2003.
Yeah. Back then, because I moved here in 2006.
Right.
So I was there for 7-8 years,
right.
And then
that's when my fashion, and that's when my fashion started happening. I really love resale and the idea of storytelling through clothes.
Yeah.
And
you're a storyteller.
That's what it is. I never say I'm a salesperson. It's about being.
No, that's what's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
you tell a story when you go sell a house.
Of course.
You want to get in people's heads and kind of as if they're already living there, right?
Yes, of course. And also because there's no like a salesperson. No, we're not salespeople.
We're not
transactioning.
We're not transactioning that way.
No. And we build relationships.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I mean, we've stayed friends all the whole time, right? These years.
Yeah. So you're always leveling up. I think in your career, like I remember I was back in like 2011, and I was at a dinner party in LA, and like everybody at the table had a reality show. I'm like, it was Rachel Zoe, Brad Goreski. Oh, I mean, literally, if you had like a weed whacking company, you had a reality show, right back then.
Yeah.
So I was like, So I was like, I'm going to get a reality show. And the whole reason why I wanted it, and this is why my business is doing so well, is since I was a child, obsessed, and I think you've been on it, with the Home Shopping Network. Like, you have no idea.
Oh, yes.
I would watch it. So everyone remember like Adriana Arpel? She's still on. She's like a makeup guru. And I am like 15 years old watching Home Shopping Network, like cheering her on to see if she's like selling out.
If she hits the goal. They always have like the tracker.
The goal, right.
And
goal.
Yes.
And so my first credit card I got had a $200 limit on it, $200. I was in college. And I got pillows from the Home Shopping Network. Like, literally, I was crazy.
Yeah, you were like, I have to.
So I had this big career, and they're like, what's your dream job? And I had worked for Branson, I worked for everybody. I'm like, I can tell you right now, taking my first phone call on the Home Shopping Network. So it was like, I had another manifestation, right? So I manifested it.
I remember you were on that.
And I had my manager at the time when I was up. So basically what happened was, I got the reality show. So I had a show on Bravo called Dicks and Melrose. And because I manifested that situation.
For sure.
But the whole reason why I did the show was to go on HSN because I knew I wanted to do it. So we were already canceled at that point. No one knew it. And I was negotiating with like HSN. And I said to my manager, do not tell them we got canceled because we're really screwed.
Yeah.
So I signed the deal. And I remember the first night I was on that stage, there was a big Christos Garkinos set. And I was like, I was a 12-year-old boy, Greek boy out of Michigan.
Wow.
Who didn't have many friends because he was, I was gay in the closet. I was like, who am I? And it's happening.
You're like,
happening.
all the set, all the lights,
all the sets,
everything.
All the lights.
Oh my god!
And I was ready to go. I designed this line, and so it was a total great success. But the funniest thing was I was with Colleen Lopez, who's like the Oprah of HSN. She's the one. I was they launched her.
You made it. You were with
her. So back
her.
that ticker tape. So you're think about it. You've got 500 blouses to sell or whatever. Those can sell pretty quickly because you can kind of talk them through. Then it's you need a separate. So there's 3,000 black pants I had to sell in a minute.
Oh.
Black pant. Like that, like what I'm wearing in black. And so I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to?
Yeah. You got to tell. You got
there was one thing that it had a tapered seam it's kind of like Disneyland's Sleeping Beauty's castle at Disneyland. It looks really big from a distance. As you get closer, it's smaller, that kind of thing, right? So the pants had a seam that went like this down the middle, which made your leg look slimmer. It's really the only big difference with it.
Yeah.
So I got to figure this out. So I dropped to my knees in front of the Oprah of HSN on live television and traced it right above her pubic bone with my finger all the way down her leg.
No.
And I could hear the collective orgasms happening in television land.
Yeah.
So before I got to her shin, she's like, and we're sold out. I was like, and you see my face go, I'm like, what? I was like, oh my God. It's because you had to move, right?
Did it.
Yeah.
You
So
did it. It was sold out.
Sold out.
Like 25 seconds.
Yeah, 25 seconds. So that was like the thing that like.
You knew it then.
I knew it. And then when they just send, which home shopping work, like you're good to you're good, and then they kick you out.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of happens now with even my network, or someone's not working out. I had to let them go for whatever reason. So yeah, I did it for 3 years, and it was like the most fun I ever had.
Oh,
until life got crazy. So
yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, then life got a little crazy.
I'm giving you all my book details.
I know all the deets. I love the deets. I love it.
Well, so we share a lot of things together. We were friends for a long time.
Yes, of course.
We're both successful in business. I'm not.
We both had ups and downs.
Ups and downs. I'm not Southern. That's the one thing.
Yeah, that's okay.
But so some things happened in my personal life in like around 2013, 14, and I basically walked away from like my first marriage. My best friend died, and I fell into, at 50 years old, unfortunately, a really fast crowd, and I got into a fast relationship and went down a drug drinking money spiral like that. Just like took me down.
Yeah,
and basically, as you know, we're both sober, and I literally lost everything.
Yeah. I mean, we relate.
I was like,
happened.
It's like, I'm like, because everything had gone my way my whole life. I've been manifesting everything.
Oh yeah, you would be like, what about Richard Branson?
Like, what about this? And I was like, I remember going like, wait, that's not how my life's supposed to be. It was because I didn't really treat what was going on with me this whole time. Because even though I don't know about you, but like being successful, even to this day, I still question like, are they going to find out I'm a fraud?
Oh, the imposter syndrome.
The imposter syndrome, right?
Wait. What?
Really?
Yeah. Wait, really? Oh, I'm from Gastonia.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
I'm a Greek little boy from Detroit. They're going to find out. So I went through like, really tough spiral, and it was 2016, and like the moment where, everybody reaches a spiritual moment where you have to kind of like figure out what's going on. It was May 1st. It was May Day is my May 1st. Yeah. And 2016, the night before I was at, it was Greek Easter. So I'm Greek, and Easter's very important. I was on the phone with my mom, and she was still alive at that point. And I said, and I was talking to her. It was already midnight in Detroit for Easter. So I was wishing her happy Easter. I was by myself doing drugs, at my house by myself, and I was searching for like Coke in the garbage.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I was talking to her. I got to go. And I sat down, and I happened to tune into a Greek podcast with Greek Easter, and literally all the Greek music was really part of my life growing up.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I want to die. Like I knew, I was like, I just got my phone on my mouth. This has to go. And so I called my ex-husband at the time and my best friend. I'm like, you guys, like, you need to take my dog away from me, because like I don't know what I'm going to do. And they came the next day, and I literally like was in treatment. I didn't go to treatment. I went into like a really heavy like therapy session and went to meetings. And from May 1st.
Wow.
I've been sober.
And you got it.
I got it. But here's the thing.
Wow.
Sobriety is not easy, people. Because in 6 months, because like my whole reason why I got sober is like through loss. I lost my dad when I was young, and like my best friend and my other best friend died. And I kind of like always was my trigger point. So I got sober May 1st, 2016. My mom died unexpectedly 6 weeks later.
No. Oh my God.
My 2 aunts died 2 months later. My dog died. Okay. I almost had to file bankruptcy, and I got divorced for the second time in 6 months. So I go to meetings and go like, yay, sobriety. What the hell?
You're like, what is happening?
I couldn't drink. I couldn't, the last thing I had till I finally stopped smoking like 5 years ago. I didn't like,
that was your only thing. You're like, fine. Yeah.
Like as long as I'm skinny and like have a cigarette in my hand, I'm fine. At that point. Now, not so much, but it's fine. But
I'll give you a pass. At least you were smoking. I mean, exactly, you can have one thing during all of that death.
All that stuff were just, and so like I said to you, like on the earlier today, like I was just like, what? And I was living like, I was still living in this big house that I couldn't afford up on Mulholland.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And like then I realized I couldn't afford it anymore because I had no money coming in, and so I had to like move into a 1-bedroom apartment on Cloverdale.
Yeah. Oh.
At 52 years old. Like Cloverdale is great if you're 26 or 25, like starting on LA, but like not when you're like basically ran LA, in my head, ego-wise for all these years. And so I was like starting.
Ego-wise. Well, you know why all that happened?
Why is that?
Is because God or whatever. It has to, like, I don't say it was humble pie. It was like a humble crepe. It was like a complete annihilate. Like ego had to be completely annihilated from anything, or you're not going to make it.
Well, my sponsor would talk about the time where basically if you look, so what happens is if you're not treating yourself. So his analogy was like, let's say you go to McDonald's all the time. I don't know if you heard the story before. And you would throw all the McDonald's wrappers in the backseat of your car. You know, like people who don't take care of their cars, like when they visit. And so there's like hundreds and hundreds, and metaphorically, of McDonald's wrappers in your car. And then you're not seeing them because they're in the back seat. But then life happens, like all that stuff happens, and you had to put your foot on the brake pedal.
Oh, and it
all hits you.
That just like makes me want to gag just
but
thinking
that's the truth, right?
Yes.
So then I had to like figure out a way through this, and like, you know, thank God I had my program, because I'd go to meetings and go like, this is happening to me. Like, why me? And of course, like, it was not me. It was like because I had to like learn these lessons.
Yes. Thank God.
And so
and you stayed. That's but that's the miracle of it.
I stayed.
Like, I'm so proud of you.
And like when I had like people like sponsees coming in, like, you know, I had a bad day today. I'm like, listen, the first 6 months of sobriety happened to me. Don't even start. Don't even
go there. Yeah.
So then, you know, so I had to figure out what to do. So I left my business. I had a non-compete clause for 6 months.
Yeah.
And so I had to restart everything. I didn't know what to do. I remember there was a moment where I was driving around in my freaking Range Rover, which I couldn't sell because of the lease.
Yeah.
That I couldn't afford.
God. Yeah.
I had $3,000 in the bank. I owed probably another $300,000 to other people.
Yeah.
I was paying on my Amex, my lawyers, you know, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And this angel came out of nowhere and said, like, hey, listen, I know you're from Detroit. We're trying to basically like build our business in Detroit. Could you host a dinner? Now, listen, I lived in Detroit for 25 years. Like, yeah, I'll do it. I mean,
no problem.
It was like $3,000 or $4,000. Like, pay my rent for a month. You know, I'll do it. And so I fly to Detroit. I get this dinner done, and there's this woman who was the head of marketing for this small hotel in Detroit. It was a really beautiful hotel, and there's part of a chain of kind of off-market, like Omaha and all these chains. And so we went to breakfast the next morning because she wanted us to meet me more. And so we're talking, and like, you know, she asked, so how's life for you? And I started talking a little bit, and I said this word. I said, well, I'm just trying to trudge through life.
I have chills.
I mean, and so trudge, as we know, is a big A word.
Yes.
Saying trudging life to, you know, happy destiny. And she's like, are you sober? I'm like, yeah. Because you don't really talk about your sobriety hours. And she said, so am I. How can I help you?
Oh my God.
So literally my life changed on one
word.
If I had not said uttered the word trudge, my life I wouldn't be where I am here today. 100%. Because what she did is she set me up in all these small markets.
Yeah.
Where I became like a Walter Mitty, taking my vintage Hermes, my vintage, you know, my vintage Chanel. That's what I did. How we met. We met through vintage.
Yeah.
And I would go to these small markets and sell. And slowly but surely, I was trying to like rebuild my life.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, and, you know, I don't know about you, but like I'm naturally a pretty shy person. So a lot of what I do is like, believe it or not, I'm not. I mean, I'm that Gemini.
Are you like an introverted extrovert, kind of one of those?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So, you know, and so, you know, in sobriety, the opposite of addiction is connection. So you've got to like be connected, take contrary action, and kind of keep your addictions at bay, right? So you know, so I was doing these things, like trying to like, you know, network in these cities. I was trying to make.
But you were becoming like a little celebrity with these. You started getting
these markets, and
some
I
markets,
had a little bit of notoriety because of the Bravo thing, which is great.
Yeah.
But like I was still like back at square one, and so through March 2018 through 2020, I was building it. So like I said to you earlier, I was like, February 2020, I was like, I had my biggest month ever, like $200,000. I was like, oh my God, like, and not that I was making that much money, but like I had to pay my consignors 80% of that the next month, right? Because I was like, you know, just trying to rebuild my life. And so like I was like, I had like March, April, May, June. I was going to all these cities. I was like, you know, going to build it.
Because you were I was watching you on Instagram. I mean, we've been friends so long. I'm always tracking you.
Right.
And you were busting around these cities. I'm like, where is he now? Like, where's Waldo? Where's Christos?
I was pulling like we were talking sobriety. I was pulling a geographic. Literally, I was like
constant.
I was like, you know, paying rent, and like I was just trying to rebuild it because I had to rebuild everything. And keep my head down. And so my sister's like, you can't come to Detroit next week for the trunk show. There's this thing called Covet. I'm like, what's? Because I was like literally I'm like, what's Covet?
Oh God.
I was like, what? Well, I'll come next month. She's like, I don't think it's gonna be next month, Christos. So I was like, what? And so I was like, oh my God. And I don't know about you, like I was on the phone with other resellers, so we immediately like went to Shopify and got those immediate loans like for $35,000 like in your bank. I was doing everything I could
Oh,
do
yes.
to make that
Okay.
happen.
Yes.
So
Smart.
what had happened was I came back and like, I owed all these people money and I didn't know what to do. And I was, going to like meetings. Obviously I was very good with my meetings, and I went to like a meeting, an online meeting at that point, like 10 days, March 15th, 2020. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm putting out the universe, like someone to figure something out with me. And so, I had been pitching like this concept to like television, like we always do in LA. Right?
Yeah, of course. We're always,
So it's called Live in the Closet with Christos.
Oh, okay.
So I've been pitching it like since, and it's a combination of what happens live versus an HSN, and it's me and I'm the host, and there's someone else on the screen, and
and you have like a fun
an HSN friend come in. We're trying to sell things, whatever, and like there's FedEx is outside the door, they're sponsoring it, and I was just like, I don't know, and everybody loved the idea, but we never could figure out how to do it. So, I at that point I maybe had 3,000 followers on Instagram, and so I go on Instagram just like whatever, and it's a crazy story about how full circle. So I see this guy named DJ Nice. And you know who DJ Nice is?
No.
So he was the DJ everybody listened to at the beginning of COVID, and still does. He had a show last night. It was like 100,000 people. Like Oprah, everybody. It's like, so
wow.
we didn't have a connection. Like 100,000 people? Like, what is going on Instagram, right? And so I was like, oh my God.
There was nothing to do. You were like,
this is like my thing. So all of a sudden, like this idea came out. I'm going to go on March 23rd, 2020. I'm going to go on. I'm going to have 100,000 people watch me, and I'm going to sell bags. And, just like he is. And so I turned it on. There were 8 people there, 4 were family members. And I swear to God, 3 others were like Russian bots.
Yeah.
So I would just, at 5 o'clock, I got on, welcome to Live in Closet Christos. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but where are the rest of 100,000 people that thought should be here? Because you're not here. So you know what I did?
Where are you guys?
You know what I did? You came on. And so remember, you came on, remember? So
yes.
I just was like, I showed up every day. So 5 o'clock, and I'd bring some celebrities on, and we started getting some traction. And so they tune in for some fun and laughter, and I'd show a bag. Hey, how about this? And maybe someone would buy it or not.
Yeah.
And so I started getting a little more notoriety just every day. It was growing. And
but it was smart because you'd bring on your friends.
Garcelle.
Garcelle's
And I try to help other people, sell things. I just was like, we were just trying to stay alive. Like if I sold a bag that paid rent, I just would kind of figure it out.
Exactly.
And then one thing beautifully came. I went on my friend's podcast back on Instagram, and I was like, and one of my clients was watching, and she's, we're super well off, and she, I talked about how I had this huge debt I had to pay people back. This was like in April 1st, and she called me the next day, and she wiped that debt off.
No, like literal angel.
She wiped it off, which I paid her back.
Yeah,
I paid her back.
But that is epic.
She wiped off my debt.
Oh my gosh!
I love her. Just because I was just being honest about what was going on.
Yeah, well, that's what we have. I mean, I share I'm very honest, and it's just sometimes it's.
I mean, I had those angels kind of happen.
All these different women, I love them. They're all been so great.
Yeah, it's been great. And so this I started doing this network, and we're not even a network at that point. So just me and I was trying to make people laugh, and it was growing. And I started seeing maybe 30 people a show, 40 people a show.
Yeah,
it's kind of started growing. And then in December 2020, it was starting to get a little bit more of a there's going to be 150, 200 people watching at some point.
Yeah. And then tell us when you're on what you're doing.
Well, what I'm doing basically, it's a good question, is I'm it's changed now. So Bob will talk about it, but basically it's kind of HSN for luxury goods, and now it's expanded to everything. I sell everything, but you come on, I talk about something, it's a Chanel bag, or it's a great piece of clothing, and here's the price. And then the first person that says sold on my screen.
Okay, yes, because it's the first person. You have to write sold.
Sold. And
then that's the person.
By the way, I pioneered all this stuff.
Yeah, you made this up.
I made it up. No one else was doing it.
So amazing.
I was the first person to do it.
Yeah.
In the world. I was like, so, and I did, so what should I say? Should I say sold? Okay, great. And I can pin this. I didn't, and there's a lot of people doing it, which is awesome.
Yeah. And TikTok. There's a whole department. Yes.
Out of necessity. Pioneer. And so then what happened? So I was just me, and I didn't really think about it. And this kid a reseller from Amsterdam texted me one day through Instagram. He's like, so I was wondering how much you charge to come on. I'm like, oh my God.
That's a click.
I was like,
that's a light bulb moment.
I'm the network.
You're the network.
People come on to pay me because I have a network down. So I totally flipped my model. And I charge a certain percentage of people when they come on to ship. And we did, like, so I'll just say the number. So I was like, so if I sell like 5 bags at like $3,000 each, it's $15,000. I maybe take home $1,500 from that. And that's a hard thing that once after tax, whatever.
Exactly. And you're running it. And then you were hustling all the things. I saw you. You would, oh my gosh, guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
I need you guys to know. I would see him because he would do like behind the scenes, which I really loved because I'm a fan also. I mean, we're friends. And so I would watch it and he'd get like a big bag of something, like a huge box. I would be like, holy cow. On consignment, he'd be like, oh my gosh, we're going to have the opening. And people would get, and you would tease it.
Totally.
But you would.
The same thing with your openings, your homes.
It's like, we have an off market, but he would tease it and you would do it. And you're like a showman. You really did an amazing job. It's a shitload of work. Let's be honest.
Yeah, people think, and people know, like, now that I have people now work for me I've never met. Like, so I'm just like, did so much work done. I was like, do we have someone to cover the show? We'll talk about like how it's grown. But
it's like a schlepping.
It's a schlepping. And
my God. Yeah.
So it's backbreaking. Just like I was like, I'm just turned 60, so I was like 56 years old. Like, this is like, I was carrying boxes up like stairs. And like,
I saw it.
I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So then, so just again to give you an idea, like the key comes on, and I'm like, okay, let's try it out. And like, here's like what I charge, and like, he did like, we ended up doing $100,000 in 3 hours.
And so he has the goods. So you don't have to do.
He's doing everything. I'm just helping him sell and opening my network up to him. So he does $100,000 of his own goods.
Oh my God.
And writes me a check for $25,000. I was like,
wait.
I was like, what? What just happened?
You're like, wait, I was hustling. I was hustling 5 bags for $1,500.
Months. And I was like, oh my God.
That is such a light bulb.
Yeah, so I was like, so then like I was off to the races. So I was like, here we go. And then so I started building a network and started bringing people on. And so
the business
grew very successfully.
Yes.
And so now we're the leading sort of luxury live streaming, because like live shopping like this, like on Instagram or on your own website or TikTok or whatnot.
Yes.
So in China, 30% of the population shops this way.
Oh, that's how TikTok is.
30%.
So even like Natalie's friends are just paid to just go and show the items. Like, and that's how oh my God.
And then in the US, it's like less than 0.5%. It's like it's in its nascent stages, very easy stages. So we have grown. And so now there's like, so now I call myself, I'm a little older than you, but like there's a guy named Jose Iber, who's a big
of course.
Okay. So what happens is like you kind of get your first haircut by me, i.e. Jose, and then I pass you off to someone else in the network for you to continue on, right?
Wow.
So we now program on Covet by Christos. See, that's the name of the IG or my website, Covet by Christos. 250 hours a month.
250.
There's a show happening right now. I don't even know. There's like
amazing,
and so we're trying to go like 24/7. And
because I will see it. So since I follow you, it will pop up and it'll be like, go live with Christos, Covered by Christos.
Yeah, but I'm not even on that show. Maybe
I know.
Like, we sell everything from like high-end jewelry to like. We're the number one seller of beauty right now.
I just cannot even get over it.
But first off, I mean, I should step. It's really about the community. So the community is amazing.
Yes, that's what you built.
It's community first, product second.
Yes,
like, you know what I mean. So they want to feel belonging. So it's kind of I do everything I can. We go on trips together.
Okay, this is so fun. We have to talk about this. Right. About your Christos Con.
Well, and by the way, I didn't coin it. That someone else coined it. So it's called Christos Con.
But it's so perfect. When I saw it, I was just like, this is perfect.
I know. So we started it in 2021, and it was July 2021, and the first time these women kind of got together, and it was like 25 people in a room, and like we had to have all be COVID tested, the whole thing, and so, but they had never met each other. So like, what's your handle?
Oh yeah, well mine's Shelton Wilder.
Okay, that's fine. So let's say you were S2444, and you walk in and you've seen these people like buying and shopping for the last year on my network, and they were like teenage girls, there was like. Oh, it's screaming.
Like a boy band.
Guys, you've got to like stop. You're on your 40s and 50s. Like, please. And it was crazy.
Because you said they would be like, oh my God, you're SW 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God.
Yeah. So we had a great time. I noticed I was like, next year we're going to go to Paris. Because like, I love Paris.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know. Went to Paris. So it was like 80 people went to Paris.
I mean, 80 people.
80 people went to Paris.
They're like following you around.
Because they want the community first. Like, they all meet friends. Because like when you get to a certain age, it's hard to make new friends.
Yes.
And these people have made, there's like we're called Stowe Squad. They've made all these great.
Love that.
They've made all these great friendships. It's been amazing. I always say like, my legacy now is like that. I'm able to, I wake up every day. I have like 60 texts from people I didn't know 2 years ago, like from like gonna be clients or like people work for me because I've got a big team now, and so which is amazing because it didn't really happen. Like so all these friends are happening. So now we're going to Paris, London, and now this year we did CBC right down the street. Actually, we did Covet by Christos University. Did you hear about that?
What is the university?
People came in for a 2-day event. The first day was all shopping. The second day was all like I put together like 8 hours of like how to like look at your bags, like how to like it was all and experts. We had fun. We gave away a Birkin.
I saw the giveaway.
Birkin. So so they all kind of came in and kind of like obviously have community, but also like learn about like certain things, and so it was an awesome event. So
I mean, look what you
and then
created.
in 3 weeks in September we all go to Greece, my homeland.
Oh my! How many people are coming?
100.
Oh my God! This is so exciting. Wait, do you plan like the hotel where everybody goes?
No. It's basically you're on your own, but like we planned like 4 full days. I've rented out like a beach club, and like I've rented out like
and then
that's here in London. Are you ready for this? So if you imagine, I started this business in my closet with a camera. I actually use this. This is my same phone. I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't changed phones.
Oh my God! This thing will go down in history. Okay,
and so I was planning the London trip. We had all these things planned. We were having lunch at the Prada Cafe, and then I said, "So can you ever like do anything in Kensington Palace?" And our PR firm's like, "Actually, you can rent it out." Like for dinners, I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Get out of town.
So we rented out Kensington Palace for a black tie event for dinner. And so as we're planning it, I'm like, I know this will never happen, but like, is there any
dream big? Look at you.
I said, can I get my logo like on Kensington Palace?
No, I'm gonna cry. No.
Yep. So they walked up, and $35 later. So all you need is a gold blow, whatever they're called. It's my logo is on top of Kensington Palace.
Okay.
I was like.
No.
I literally was like,
no,
I
goals.
was broke.
Goals.
I was
broke. You were driving
around like going, what's going to happen? And so that happened, which is nuts. I made sure I stayed in the moment because like a lot of this stuff, again, has been happening. It's just like.
It's like pinch me moments.
So like we've grown. And so now, like since inception of basically, we've generated over $100 million in sales.
Okay. That's just bananas.
Have changed people's lives.
Yes, they've had all these friends.
All these friends. We're like, actively being pursued by other people who want my business, which is great, which we're talking to people.
Yeah.
Like,
and you have your book.
I have a book coming out.
I mean, that's epic.
Coming out on the 5th anniversary, March 23rd, 2020. The 5th anniversary of my business. I have a book coming out. And it just talks about basically, this is really be good for the book because like it'll be content from it.
Yeah. Yay. Where you'll have it all.
But it's about being knocked down.
Oh yeah,
and like being getting back up again. So the book is going to start with a story where I was 9 years old, and we just moved to this place called Grosse Pointe, Michigan, which is very rich.
Oh yes, Grosse Pointe. I know. Super rich. I have a client from there.
But like we came from Detroit. We're like the Greeks invading Grosse Pointe.
Oh God.
And so I was playing by myself. I didn't really have any friends. Like I don't know if there's a wild monster. I didn't really have any friends. Well, I was playing like I remember it was a cold day, and I was playing tetherball outside.
Of course.
So I was playing like knocking the ball around, like literally by myself at recess. And it was like a 2:00 recess, I guess. So I heard the clickety clack of some heels on the side. It was like a high school girl, I guess, like walking by Ferry Elementary. My school is called Ferry Elementary.
Oh, okay.
And so then I heard the sound of the heel.
Yeah.
At 9 years old, I swear to you, and said, someday I'm going to be around that. Like I didn't know what it meant.
Oh my!
But I remember the moment when I was 9 years old, and that ball was going around, and in typical Christos fashion, I had a eureka moment, and then the ball, because I didn't know it was coming at me, hit me in the eye and gave me a black eye. So I had this like big moment in my life, like I know what I'm going to do, I don't know what it is, but then like I had a big welt on my eye, which is so typical of my whole life, like of like. And then like, oh,
oh, dang it.
So that's like a very David Sedaris moment.
That's amazing.
So that's what's going to happen. So yeah, the book will be a lot of like, being a child of Greek immigrants and like kind of like all this like kind of great stuff I've had. And like so the next, phase of my life, I definitely want to like, mentor people. I do it now, but I also like,
one of our good friends.
Right? Yeah.
Marie Charlotte.
Marie Charlotte, she's on my network, which is awesome. And so to see, I mean,
it's changed your life.
Totally, right?
I mean, these people doing these business, I mean.
Yeah, so we have we changed, we're having people now who come on who are like, selling things out of their house, and now they're, $1 million businesses.
Yes.
We work with big people, we have celebrity closets come on, Kathy Hilton.
Yes.
Crazy, Garcelle, Jennifer Aniston.
I mean,
they're big people.
Wild.
One person's so big. We had a show last week that we had to sign an NDA. So we couldn't, I can't even tell you off camera who it was. So it was such a big person. We had to I started the show off with tape on my mouth.
But it went live?
Yeah, but with her clothes, we couldn't say who it was.
Oh, not who it was, just her clothes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it
amazing.
So,
oh my God.
So we kind of do all that. So we sell everything from everything you want in your life, from beauty to jewelry to things for your dog, but it's kind of always focusing on what the end consumer wants.
And how do they tell you what they want? Do you think you get
I get feedback, but a lot of it is my gut.
Yes, you're obviously
my gut, what I think people would want. A lot of people we have a 200 person waiting list to come on the network. 200 people want to come on.
Shut up.
Yeah. So
now that's wild.
Yeah. Wilder and wilder.
Why? That's wilder.
Yeah, so we are really super picky as to who come on, and they have their own lane, and we just have to kind of figure out. So the idea is basically, I had this vision when I opened and I did the network, it's gonna be a really good resale site. No, it's not resale. It's bigger than that. So you could come on this. Imagine this being a screen, right? And there's 85 shows happening at one time. If you're a size 42 shoe girl, that's happening right now for you.
No.
You know what I mean?
You're going to do it like that?
It's going to be all digital. So you're going to be able to kind of if your husband's into collecting trading cards to the 50s.
Yes, there's really specialized things. Rather than having to go and dig on. I don't need
people to that's what it is. Because a lot of these people can't build a community. So if you build a community like we have with beauty, you can make that happen. So.
Okay. So say if I
I actually sold real estate once. You talked about doing.
No,
it's a
get
funny
out
story,
of here.
ready?
We need to do something like that.
I mean, honestly, so I did a pop-up in New York probably 14 years ago, before all this stuff happened.
Yeah.
And it was when Sex and the City was really big. And so what I did is my friend had a $5 million apartment at that point in New York, and we set up in there. And I set up the place as if the 4 women from Sex and the City lived together. So every room was Samantha, Charlotte, Harry, and Miranda. Miranda's not that much stuff in there. Anywho, there's some work bags. And so
some work bags.
So it was really successful and fun. And there's a lady who was there, the last lady was shopping, and she she's like, I like this Prada bag, it's $550, can I go to $390? I'm like, ugh, that kind of stuff. It was the end of the day. And she was nice, but she was also trying to really get me down the price. So I was like, okay. So of course then the thunk sound, you know what that is, right?
Oh yeah, what?
The black card.
Oh, you're burn.
No, her black card. I'm
okay.
A discount for a black card? Thanks, the management. So I remembered her, right?
Was it a Miranda bag or a Samantha bag?
In the apartment for a couple hours, right?
Oh yeah.
And walking around, she bought that one bag, and so I was like, whatever. And so the guy who did this, it was through a real estate PR firm.
Yeah.
And they're like, Christos, we sold the apartment. I was like, what do you mean you sold the apartment?
Yeah.
Black card lady.
Yeah. No. Oh my God.
So she got it down probably to $4.5 million for $5 million.
Yeah. But
she got a Prada bag.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
So
we're gonna have pop-up. Well, we did. I mean, we want to do that at our listings, the pop-up.
So, I didn't have a commission on the deal. I just was there to have a free space. But they made, I don't know what, $300,000.
Yeah.
I made a profit on a Prada bag.
You're like, I made negative dollars.
It's fine. It's fine.
No, that's so exciting. It's just getting eyeballs. It's getting people excited. Because I feel like what your network does is it creates the new,
it's a gaming.
It's the game. Yes, you were telling me about that.
Women get addicted, so I understand. Being an addict myself, I understand. I buy a lot in the network, so I was like, do I really need this 40 hack? Okay, I'll get it. So so there's definitely that. So I've actually counseled a few ladies offline. Listen, I see what's going on.
Really? You had to get you
may need to step back for a second.
Yeah.
So I just whatever. So I do that. So but So it's just that. But the first thing is, as long as people are having fun.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to me. And, for me, it's just making sure I'm living in gratitude every day because as you know, if you're not living in gratitude, your ego rises
Yeah, and we can't let that creep back in.
Like, and I feel it sometimes creeping back in. Like I've been.
Oh well, we'll just talk.
Okay.
And like get it out.
Okay, because definitely it can creep in.
I know, but it's got that happened.
Once your ego gets running, you're in trouble.
No, that happened to me in 2022, and I was like, oh my God, no. It's got to be because it will be taken. Like it can get taken away.
100%.
So it's gratitude. And integrity.
Integrity. Yes. Integrity is never, that's not, listen, the best, my integrity is like,
squeaky clean. Yeah.
And so that's there. It's just sometimes like I think that like my biggest challenge is like thinking my way is the only way and the right way. And like, I've done this for a long time. What are you trying to say to me? I can like get a little Greek on people sometimes. And so
a little Greek.
But so that's the most important thing is like, and you can feel it, right? When that ego creeps.
It's in your gut and in your chest.
And like
it rises,
happens and you're kind of like your shoulders get a little more square. Like who are you to And so when I feel it, I'm like, oh boy.
But that's why pause when agitated.
Yes.
That's like that. That's the best slogan. Pause when it's just like shut it down and then sleep on it and get out of there. I mean, it happened this week in a real estate. And this lady saying, and I'm like. Because she texted me what she thought of me, but she sent it to me instead of her manager.
No.
And I was like, oh, did you mean this to go to me?
I did that too. So that's happened before too.
And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep it together, But like, it's just, I'd rather be happy than right. And then let's just talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, my truisms are like, it's none of my business what you think about me.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, people.
Like if you're fine, because if my side of the sidewalk's clean, I'm good.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
So, I mean, there's certain people like, I'm sure you've gotten successful, and I have too, is like, there's a lot of people who are like, chattering and like, who are you? Mm-hmm. Why do you deserve this? Like, I can do it better. And if you get, if you drink it, if you go to that sort of like,
oh yeah,
there's a term for it in AA where like you're drinking sort of like this toxicity.
Yeah, if you drink the poison, expect the other person to die.
Right.
But you're drinking the poison.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm not paying rent.
No, just let's move out of there and just positron to everybody else and like think the best. But yeah, it can get a little dicey. So it's good that you're keeping your head on straight because you have so much success.
So much great, so much gratitude, and like have like obviously health is first, and so it was important a milestone for me when I turned 60 because like my dad, my uncle, and my grandfather all died at 59.
So this was major.
It was major. When I turned 59, it was like, but in 60 it was a big deal.
You're like this.
It was like, because like obviously they were like, a different generation. They drank and smoked and, did all sorts of stuff, which I don't do anymore. But like, it's obviously still like, so I think the most important thing is like to take care of yourself physically. So it's important. I mean, I had the COVID weight situation. I lost all that. But then like, I've been, I work out and like just trying to keep it, kind of keep it like, the thing is I don't leave the house. So that's the problem. So one thing, I told everybody now, it's just 2 shows a day. So I used to do like 6 to 7 shows a day.
Yeah.
So I'm now down to 2.
So now 2 shows a day. And then maybe I'll send Brett, my trainer, over.
Well, I got my trainer.
Oh, you have your trainer. Okay, good.
The big nice building is like the trainer comes.
Oh, no, they all come to the building.
The dry cleaner comes. I got my haircut last night.
He comes. Oh, yeah, they come to my house.
The tanner comes. They all come.
It's too much too. Okay, but you came here today. I did. I'm so proud of you.
I've never been this part of LA. And sort of like, where am I?
I'm like, we're in Brentwood. I was like, this is so great.
It's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, this is such a treat. I loved having you on. I mean, learned so much today. And I hope all your fans, all my fans, everybody's going to.
Listen, if you're going to watch this, like, Shelton's the one.
No, you're the one. And you're doing it. And I'm just so proud of you. And we have been both through hell, and then the phoenix will rise.
Yeah. That's what basically just like, I always think about that moment where I got hit in the face by that ball. I mean, and I'm like, ow. And then I had to kind of get up and like, go back and just kind of rise above it. Yeah. Because like, there's definitely times where you're like, why is this happening? And then you have to pivot.
Yeah. You're king of pivoting right here. I love that.
I mean, I guess I could TM that, but that's not very subtle.
Well, I love your Coveted by Christos. Oh, and Christos Con's my favorite thing I've ever seen.
If you have a Wilder Con, I'm going to come after you with some books.
Oh my God.
I'm going to ask for a world.
You're coming after me. It'll be Wilder World.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, I'm going to keep that.
I like that. Yeah, okay. So it's Covet by Christos, Covet by Christos. And then website and Instagram. So come
Website and Instagram. I mean,
Instagram and whatnot, and now TikTok. I do all.
Oh, and now you're doing TikTok too. Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, social media. Yeah. How grateful.
Well, there's good parts of it and also bad parts of it.
Yeah, but you just
like those things. Like, did you really mean to like say I look tired today? Like, because the thing is, I'm live with people, and they're like, thank God for a good filter. But I was just like, I'm live, and like they're like, you look tired today because they're like family. I'm like, well, thanks, Julie, but like,
Wait, they'll say that?
Yes. I had to like 11 o'clock last night, and like I was on, and like I got up at 7 a.m. Like,
we're like, how are you doing? I don't see what you look like. Yeah. Why don't you turn your camera on? Yeah, let me see what you. Yeah, that's your next move. That's hilarious. Well, you've been such a fun guest.
I know, you've been great.
Yeah, and love you.
Anytime.
And listen, so excited for so many great things to come.
Watch this space.
Oh, keep watching. Yeah. Okay. Bye. I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get wilder.